Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to another segment of Conversational Narrative with John Tutson Jr., Tuts Poems. How you doing there, sir?
I am doing fabulous, Ron. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, on another beautiful day, Wednesday here, and hey, this is where we definitely we go into the mind of Mr. John Tutson through his poems, as he has some poems that are on his mind relating to today. And if you're interested, feel free to get leave a comment or tell how you like the poem, because this is what it's all about. And if you are a poet out there, we would love to definitely talk with you, even have you on the show as well, possibly, and things. Okay, so yeah, John, man, what's been going on with you, man?
Hey, man. Life has been good. As most of America, I am being a spectator to
Hmm.
the um, Derek Chauvin trial
Okay,
in
yeah,
the murder of
George Floyd, yeah.
George Floyd, and where I'm where my thoughts are being led. I wrote some poems that don't speak to that subject specifically, but more to the state of America and what is your view of America?
Mm.
Because when they had the verdict yesterday,
Hmm.
it's almost instantly we were divided, and I'm talking about Black America was divided on
Correct.
whether this was a milestone or whether or not this was just one step, another step in the pursuit of equality in America. And what does it look like to you? Because everyone has a different perspective, and it goes into what your experience have been with law enforcement and
Hmm.
what your experiences have been in America regarding race.
Right.
And so it seems to me that we have the one camp that says this is great, we need to celebrate because this shows that we are making progress. And then we have those others who say, well, we've heard these same promises being made in the past,
Hmm.
and we are still where we used to be. And though we can look and see the incremental advances that we've made, if we go on a scale of 100%,
Hmm.
where some people will think that we've covered up to 80% of the equality equation, and some people will believe that we're still at 10%, and the United States still got 90% of work to do.
Right.
And it
Agreed.
all depends. It's not a real right or wrong. It's all about your experiences. And so we do have that division in our community.
And this
So
and that is unfortunate, but we definitely have a lot of work to do. All
yes.
right.
And
And
then how much work is it that we as Blacks have to do, or how much work is it that America has to do in order to fulfill its promise of equality and get rid of a lot of the systematic racism that has been going on in this country for so many years, and that it's also, and that this systematic racism is built into the history of this country. And
agreed.
so since we have, been here since the 1600s, it's over 400 years, and the Civil War was over 150 years ago, and yet we still have racial problems. A lot of it is because the system, when it was first written, did not include the rights of Blacks.
Correct.
And so we've been getting these very small incremental um, progress notes, and depending on how you've benefited from them or how you've been victimized by them, it's all dependent on the person that you talk, and the stereotypes and the things that people think are common knowledge for them because of a higher education level may not be the same, may not be looked the same as those of a lower economic class who have not got the benefits of higher education, working in diverse communities, living a totally integrated life versus those who lived segregated lives.
Awesome.
And, so, there's just so much and so many heated discussions can be had, just off of me saying something from my perspective, and then someone coming along saying that's not my experience.
All right. So you've written some poems. And I guess you have a few of them relating to this experience, not exactly for us directly with the Chauvin case, but for us dealing with America and the racism and equality and things like that.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, look, guys, you are tuned in. Thank you so much. You can also go to Tutspoem's Facebook page. Feel free to join that page as well and join in on this conversation, this conversational narrative. And if you're a poet, we would love to definitely connect with you out there as well. Okay. So poem. So John. So what's your first poem here that we're going to hear?
My first poem is called "The American Dream."
Okay, the American Dream. All right, and we're going to elaborate on that once you're done.
Okay. The American dream folks speak about is achievable without a doubt. A dream is a gift we receive. We can make it happen if we believe. Each person has the possibility to contribute individually. For the best America to begin, everyone must figure out where they fit in. Life has no guarantees and is rarely fair. The American dream can also feel like a nightmare. Pursuit of happiness is everyone's quest. The challenge is for each of us to do our best. Knowledge keeps increasing and we learn more. Prosperity for all is what we're striving for. As society fulfills its promise of equality, everyone can be all they were meant to be. Your American dream may help to inspire others who catch the spark started by your fire. Whether large or small, you define success. We all contribute to America's progress.
Beautiful, beautiful. The American Dream, Tutspoems, as you see on the screen there. And again, you can go visit on the Facebook page as well. All right, Tutspoems Facebook page. Go and join it. Tell us what inspired that piece right there.
What inspired that piece is, what are you looking for? What does America look like to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can tell you, through my experience, the things that I've gone through, whether they're, things that have helped me, to progress forward in life, or things that may have held me back in life. How much do I want to blame America and its white supremacist agenda for holding me back? And for some people, that's a very good reason. And if you individually listen to their story, and, it's their story, it may be completely true to them, but it's not true to everybody in America, because lots of Blacks have had great opportunities and continue to have great opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And so how they look at America is different from somebody who's had a lot of obstacles that they could not get around. And You know, the Constitution says we all have these inalienable rights,
Right.
you know, unalienable rights in order to, you know, for the pursuit of happiness. It's not guaranteeing you happiness. It's
Right.
just that you should have no obstacles in your way as you pursue, you know, what's going to make you happy. What does success mean to you? You know, does it mean
Right.
financial success? Does it mean popularity? You know, do you want to be a celebrity? You know, what career fields? Because lots of things are based on career fields. You know, are you in a job that you dreamed of all your life? Is this your dream job? Or is this just the job that you have in order to survive? And the
Good.
money that you make, do you have money that allows you to take care of your responsibilities and your wants? You know, do you, you know, can you afford a vacation? Can you, you know, do things like that? You know, do you have that extra money? You know, did it come off the fact that you were lucky enough to find a job that pays you a lot? Or
Mhm.
did you have a college education that, you know, that gained you access to jobs that people without a college education can do? Because it's easy for someone to say, well, just go get a college degree and you'll get a better job. You know, the
Right.
college degree does not necessarily guarantee that.
No.
You know, it may, you know, it may help you along the way.
All right.
So the
Mhm.
American dream means a lot of different things to different people.
Again, if you all enjoyed that piece, feel free to comment on that. All right. Again, this is Tuts Poems. Okay. And this is a conversational narrative. And we're having a conversation about the poems that Mr. John Tutson Jr. here puts out. And if you're a poet as well, you know, we're doing something different. We would love to definitely highlight you and even bring you on board because, again, there's a lot of poets out there that can help transform society through your words, and we all have something to say. So, you know, and voice communication, that's a powerful thing. All right. Let's look at our next poem that you have here. The America, the social experiment.
Okay. In the history of this amazing world, our founders sought to form a pearl. No one thought it could be done. The United States fooled everyone. America's been living with a fantasy. For so long, we believed it was reality. Through years of trials and tribulations, we have become a great nation. Early colonialists wanted freedom and liberty, the pursuit of happiness and equality. From their perspective of white supremacy, they never considered a nation of diversity. Today, we keep amending the Constitution. A brand new world needs new solutions. No need to cancel or rewrite history. We are in a future no one could foresee. The idea of America was always strange. It has survived by being open to change. The USA started as a social experiment, and look at where that idealistic vision went.
Wow. Wow. Man, you know, I was thinking about that, especially that last piece. You know, again, America started pretty much as a social experiment idea, and look at where it is right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's still got a lot of problems. Um,
Hmm.
you know, because a lot of
Hmm.
things in America were started off of, I would say, English, European traditions.
Correct.
And, you know, the first settlers, the first colonists, they were still loyal to England and they didn't want
Mhm.
it to change. But over time, as new generations came along, they saw that the European model for this country was not what they wanted. You know, even though their
Mhm.
parents were happy with it, the newer generations were not happy with it. And probably the people said, well, it's always been that way. It's nothing that you can do about it. it's just the way that life is.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said, well, we're going to have a country, and everybody's going to be equal, and everybody, the idea that everybody gets a vote, everybody gets an opinion, not just the wealthy, not just the politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And it became more and more inclusive. And as the country became more inclusive, that didn't mean that everybody was in agreement with it,
Right.
because some people wanted to keep the old ways, the make America great type mentality, that
Mhm.
it was good back then, so y'all should just shut up and just let it stay like this because it works.
Right.
So, in the rest of the world, or the rest of the civilized world, like Europe, said no country can survive without a king and royalty. And America set out to prove that you can have a democracy and that people aren't stupid just because they were born poor. Doesn't
Right.
mean that they don't have any rights except those that were dispensed by the powerful.
Mm. Well, yeah.
And it worked. It hasn't worked perfectly, but it has worked. And now we're at another phase where, because when everything was written, it didn't include those that weren't white. But
No.
once the slaves were freed, how do you include them, and what do they need in order to survive? It wasn't that they wanted us to thrive. They just they wanted to give us enough to survive, thinking that that would be enough. We'll give them a little bit and maybe they'll shut up. But the more we
Mhm.
became educated, the more we realized how much we were being denied. And we
Mhm.
started asking for more.
Mhm.
And now you have all of these other non-white groups who also want their share of the freedoms and equalities, and to kick down the stereotypes that have been defining them for years, that for years people those people in that particular group know it's not true. But
Mhm.
convincing those people that have been fed these lies for years to take responsibility that a lot of the problems you caused by
They-
denying people what you were given to your people.
And that is so true. All right, because that's why you have to learn your history, and this is why we have the issues that we have now. Because some folks even had recommended just rewrite the Constitution, you know. But
Yeah. Right. Throw the
and that
baby
is
out with the
option.
bathwater. And that's not going to work,
Hmm.
because, you know, it's not always that the laws are bad, it's the
Hmm.
carrying out of the laws. You know,
Hmm.
I always tell people that I am a black man in America, but my experience is my experience because of the location that I grew up with, in the environment that I grew up in, the parents that I had that raised me with the values that they had. Not everyone had my parents. Not
Right.
everyone, not everyone is from a great situation where opportunities are abundant.
Right.
And how do you overcome your circumstances to become the person that you want to become? And that in itself is the social experiment. Do we give people that are uneducated in politics, do we give them the right to vote? Because they'll just squander that vote. And you can create an argument that says, no, if you're not a college graduate, or you're not a high school graduate or something, that qualifies you to be a good steward of this responsibility, then you shouldn't have it. And we have that going on right now with the way that some states are trying to rewrite voters' rights, that only the people that they want to vote are going,
Right.
they're going to make it easy for them, and they're going to make it very difficult for the people that they don't want to vote.
All right, hey, you all are tuned in. Thank you so much. This is Conversational Narrative, okay, and Tuts Poems. Make sure you go visit, okay, the Facebook page Tuts Poems. Go and join it. If you're a poet, we would love to definitely have you join there as well. This again, we're reading some of Mr. John Tutson Jr.'s poems that he's written for over years, and even some for today, recently. And again, he's read 2 poems, one called The American Dream. All right. This next one that he just got through talking about, America, the Social Experiment. Okay. They definitely gave some great insight. If you like to even join in on the conversation, if you like what you've heard, feel free to comment. Even if you like the poems or so, feel free to definitely comment. All right. We'd love to see your correspondence. Okay. Now, this last one that you have, for the sake of time, we have I Am Not Ashamed. Okay, I am not ashamed. Now, yes, let's not. Yeah, let's hear this here.
Okay, this is called I Am Not Ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
I am an orphan of African ancestry, separated by the cruel trade of slavery. History knows where to place the blame. I will never be ashamed. I am the fruit of a strong family tree, from ancestors owned like property. For centuries, lawfully mistreated, enslaved, but never defeated. Their life mission was to survive, to ensure our race would stay alive in a country that bragged of equality and profited enormously from slavery. Today, we inch closer to promises made. Reparations cannot cover the price they pay. We know where to place the blame. We, their descendants, are not ashamed.
Beautiful, beautiful. Poetry, a conversational narrative, man. Go ahead and talk about that. There, I am not ashamed.
I I often think of people trying to explain racism and other people saying somehow it's African Americans' fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's our fault that our ancestors were captured or bargained for, or whatever the method it was that they found themselves in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And they came here against their will, and how some people would like to say that it was for their own good. How they try to justify that
Wow.
slavery somehow benefited our current generations because we grew up in America. And if our ancestors hadn't been captured and put in slavery, that we would have grown up in the uncivilized jungles of Africa.
Wow.
And they try to justify slavery by saying things like it was destiny. It was decided by the gods. This was just the
Yeah,
destiny of Black people, that they
yeah,
were
I've
going
heard
to
that.
end up in servitude, to whites. And so even after all of the stuff that we went through in slavery, we survived.
Yes, we
And
did.
some of us thrived, within the restrictions of what we did.
Right.
And then the stereotypes that they created to describe us, and those stereotypes being accepted as truth. So we were required to, when we deal with whites in power, we were required to adjust our personalities to make them comfortable. So when they would, so like it became our job to prove that their stereotypes were wrong, even if we could prove that they were wrong. We were told that we were wrong, and that and all of these things that they did, to make us want to be ashamed of the fact that we were black. They made the victim the problem. So we, the way that this, the way that our country's laws were set up, we were born a victim, and but everything that we did to prove that their stereotypes and myths were wrong, they found a way to twist the words, to say, well, the worst of your race is who we're going to use as the common, what I'm saying?
Yeah, the stereotype. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
how yeah, black
we're going to
people
use
are.
this stereotype, and no
Mhm.
matter how much you prove that that stereotype is wrong, they're going to say, well, we're comfortable with the stereotype, so we're going to keep it. And I guess in their psychology, if you tell us this enough, that we will believe it, and we will walk around being ashamed of the fact, feeling like we have to apologize for being black.
And that's pretty much what the media is all about. And you are inundated with this image or saying, and eventually the more times you say it, it'll become a part of you. All
Right.
right. And
Yeah,
so
fulfilling prophecy. They tell
mhm,
you that you're worthless from, birth,
mhm,
and after you hear it from so many different directions, you start to think, well, maybe this is true.
right.
Maybe this is true. And then all of the laws of the country point to this, that this is the way that it's always been, and this is the way that it will always be. And the problem is that you don't want to accept America's truth.
Correct. Correct. Hey, we're talking with John Tutson Jr., poet John Tutson Jr. of Tuts Poems, as you see there. And there's a Facebook page. If you'd like to definitely reach out to him, go to Tuts Poems on the Facebook and sign up or join, collaborate. If you're a poet out there, we would love to feature your poems as well. This is more of a poetry show, which is kind of unique because it's a conversational narrative as well, just like as you saw that we were doing earlier. And then those who may go back and watch this later on, and you can also watch it on Tuts Poems Facebook page. The
And
website is coming soon, right?
right,
Yes. Okay.
tutspoems.com.
Tutspoems.com. Okay, be on the lookout for that. We will be broadcasting that. I know, John. During this time here, what's going on and with that verdict or so. What are your feelings, real quick, about that? And then, for us, from a poet standpoint, how would you like to communicate that, or what do you want people to know?
Okay, I have one more poem, and I will
Uh-huh.
make this very quick,
Okay.
and it will answer your question. This
Okay.
is called Evolution Revolution.
Okay.
The United States is writing our future as it unfolds. We are witnessing the new history to be told. It will be transforming, difficult, and bold. Every American can play a role. I'm sure that we can all agree the original Constitution writers could not foresee what the USA would become eventually, that all people deserve humanity and equality. The rights denied by violence and force after 400 years have run its course. Time has proven our country only gets better, as we learn to live, love, and play together. If America wants to really be strong, it is time for the country to right past wrongs. All our citizens must be part of the solution. Today is the time for an evolution revolution.
Love it, love it. Yes, hey, Tuts Poems, guys. Go to the to the Facebook page. Okay, Tuts Poems. Go and join it. All right, if you're a poet out there that's watching, all right, get in contact with us. All right, we would love to definitely talk with you, man. Johnny, those were some dynamic poems that you read, and I'm looking forward to some more that you have. Hey, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, hey, again, thank you all so much for tuning in to another segment of Conversational Narrative, which we do every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So feel free to spread the word, and you'll be hearing and seeing more of some great things to come.
Yeah.
Hey,
and also, if people would like to contact me, you can contact me at tutspoems@yahoo.com or tutspoems@gmail.com.
there you go. Tuts Poems, either at Yahoo or at gmail.com. All right. There it is. Tuts Poems, spelled just like that. And again, and there's a Facebook page. Go in and join it. All right. Well, hey, look, we have to go, but thank you so much. And you all be safe out there.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.